Thank you for waking up with Be Sweet, y'all. Where we learn how to be sweet to ourselves and to others, by growing in mind, body, and spirit. I'm so happy to be here with y'all. This is actually the easiest thing I do in my life. The easiest thing I do is sitting here right now in front of you doing my podcast. I wish everything I did was easy and simple to me. The funny thing is, I know I'm supposed to speak places and all that stuff, but I'm working on, I'm not going to say I'm scared, because I'm working on a new little mantra, and it is, I love people with my words, and I can't wait to do it. I love people with words, and I can't wait to do it. Yeah, I'm saying that to myself over and over. So today's episode is about things I'm getting right, or almost right, or getting, but things I just quite haven't gotten there yet. Do you feel like that sometimes? Do you feel like, it's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, and but you know what, that's life. If we're living and growing and trying to become, that is going to be our life. I think that people, I've talked about this a lot before, that people that you think have it all together, maybe they really don't have it all together. I will tell you right up front that I don't have it all together. All you have to do is go look in my car and find all the 10 Built Bar wrappers, and 4 jackets, 3 raincoats, which is kind of funny because yesterday I needed a raincoat. Guess what wasn't in my car? A raincoat. No raincoat. Everything else was, but not a raincoat. So I just want to talk to you a little bit today about some of the things I feel like I'm getting right, and maybe a lesson that might be in there for you. And this is some of the stuff I'm going to talk about next week when I speak. I'm speaking 2 different places on the day of my sweet, precious husband's birthday. And so by the time this comes out to Apple, Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff, you'll already have seen, that will already have happened. So one of the things that I feel like I've really gotten right, but this is the thing. I've gotten it right because of hardship. I learned it because things weren't right. So let me go back and tell you. One of the things that I've talked about quite a bit was my childhood. I grew up in an alcoholic home, very unsure, didn't really know what to expect. Now, do not get me wrong. I did not grow up with abuse. Both my parents were kind, loving people. My father was just an alcoholic, and he was a very, very drunk alcoholic, a very undependable alcoholic. And so I never quite knew what was going to happen. So I retreated into my home. I sat on my bed and I prayed to God. I read books, and I say this all the time, but I want to say it over and over so you hear it, so you'll know what a powerful tool this is, and also know why writing books is so important to me. Writing blogs, books, is so important to me. So I would sit on my bed and I would read Norman Vincent Peale, and I read him a lot. And I read Zig Ziglar, John Maxwell, I read my Bible. And the thing that I saw in common with all these people was that they had hardships, but they didn't let those hardships become their victimhood mentality. They might have been a victim at a time, but what happened to them, they decided to take responsibility for what was happening to them. They found a way. Adversity became their way. And I just knew the power of words and how strong words affected my body, that my words became my actions and my actions became my life. So that's what I did. So that became my fuel. That became the thing that helped me. It also became the thing that helped me when my starter husband left the home. And when he left, I was devastated. And I utilized the same things that I utilized as a 10-year-old kid who was scared sitting on my bed. I utilized the power of words, the power of prayer. I believe that I wasn't a victim, but I will tell you that for a while, I was stuck. And I wondered, am I ever going to be happy again? And I decided that, how people say, I'll be happy when, I'll be happy if. No, you won't. No, you will not. If your happiness depends on an outside thing or another person, you will not be happy. You will 100% not be happy. I promise you that. Your happiness can never depend on a person, a thing, or an event, or you will not choose joy. You will not choose happiness. So I had to forge my own happiness. But one of the biggest lessons, the biggest things that showed me that I had to find happiness in my own self, in my own life, in my ordinary and in the extraordinary is through addiction. I learned that through my father growing up. I learned it through my brother. My brother died at age 48 of alcoholism and addiction, homeless behind a Winn-Dixie in Key West, Florida. Didn't even know he was dead for 2 years. Saw his name in an obituary. It's an online obituary. But this is a thing that I learned. In Al-Anon, we have a saying or a mantra saying, whatever. It says that we learn to be happy whether our loved ones were drinking or not. We learn to be happy whether loved ones were drinking or not. Because I had people that would come to me that were their kids were suffering from addiction for years and years, like mine, and they would say, "I'll be okay when my kid's okay. I'll be okay when my husband stops drinking. I'll be okay when my finances are straight. I'll be okay when I make enough money." Guess what? You cannot put "I'll be okay if," "I'll be happy if," because you will constantly be chasing that if. You will chase that if for the rest of your natural born days. I had to learn to be okay when things were not okay. I had to do that. So I'm going to stop for just a brief moment here, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I want to thank a sponsor, y'all. And the reason I do that is because I want to be very transparent with you. This girl doesn't make the money I used to make, and that's okay. That's okay. That's all right. I'm still driving a car. I still eat good food. I'm still wearing darling clothes. And I am happy. I am joyful. I am so grateful for what I do have. But this is one thing I'm very grateful for. If I did not have sponsors who believe in my mission, this podcast would not be happening right now. I would have already chosen to stop it. I've almost stopped it many, many times, but because of the encouragement of you people that come up to me and say, "Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much. I keep doing it." So Buffalo Rock Pepsi believes in my mission of spreading joy, spreading happiness, teaching people that they can be happy in spite of, not because of. Thank you, Buffalo Rock Pepsi, for believing in me. And y'all, my sweet friends at Holiday Beach Mechanical, when I went to them, they said, "What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? How much do you need?" And they have been that way since day one. That's why they are a top sponsor. And I want you to think about them for your rentals. They are in need of more Gulf Front and like right across the beach rentals. They do an incredible job with plumbing, electrical, air conditioning, but they also are just highbrow rental people. So if you have a fancy schmancy property and you need somebody to manage that, they're your people. Okay. And y'all, Team Patriot, they are so precious. They are going to come over here and put my house back together from a water damage that happened in December. I know. Kind of embarrassing, but he finally said to me, "Karen, let me help you put it together." And I said, "Please and thank you." So Team Patriot, Home Solution Company, please call them. I'll thank some more people in a minute. Well, I do want to say something about Hue Salon. Isn't my hair adorable? If you are looking at me live, or if you are looking at this through YouTube and not Spotify and all those, you will see that my hair is so cute. Thank you, Hue Salon, Rebecca especially. So one of the things, like I said, that I've gotten right, I have really learned through my lifetime not to be a victim, and if I'm feeling sad, not to stay there. I'm going to be very honest with you. I was very sad the other day. It was the day before the anniversary of my husband's death. And we were also in the middle of grieving because a dear friend, Jim Krasinski, was in his final voyage to go home to be with Jesus. And so all the sadness of that, their sickness kind of fell in the same time frame, and I knew what Julie was going to go through because I knew what I had gone through, and I wanted to be there for her, and it brought back a lot of memories for me. But what happened to me, and I think I talked about this in one of my little blips the other day, but the day before Hugh's death anniversary, I was so sad. I was so sad, and I couldn't really name the sadness. And I wasn't even thinking about the date, really, but I felt this just heaviness inside of me. And I know it's because my body remembered it. My body remembered the pain of what had happened on that day, the day before when Hugh passed away. And I felt it. And I'm going to tell you a little secret. Okay, it won't be a secret anymore. So you know that I eat very healthy. I do. I eat very healthy, and I have very few exceptions. I do eat a Built Bar. I love my Built Bar. And some days I eat too many Built Bars. And they don't pay me to say that, but I eat those bad boys. They're so delicious. And it's my treat because I don't eat sweets anymore, other than I do eat ice cream. I will eat ice cream, but not normally like this, what I'm about to tell you. So that evening, I was at home, and I was spending the time reading and thanking God for my life, but I felt very sad. And I don't do sadness very well. I'm not good at sadness at all. I'm not good at sharing sadness, but what I've realized, and that's one of the things I'm not getting right yet, okay, that will go into the category of not right yet, because I do believe a sadness shared with someone you trust gives them permission to be sad with you too. Because I think when we keep all our things bottled up like I did when I was a kid, that they find their way. They find their way out. They will find their way. The body keeps score, y'all. It really does. But this is what I did. So I was sad, and I do not normally eat when I'm sad. I'm not a sad eater. I normally, if I'm really, really sad, like when my husband flew the coop, my starter husband, I didn't eat for a long time. I could not eat. And when I'm stressed, I don't eat. But this time, I decided to. I ate one ice cream sandwich. Then I ate another. Then another. But you know what? The box had 6 of them. I ate 6 ice cream sandwiches. 6. That's what I ate for dinner. Y'all, seriously, I did. So now I've made the confession. So the thing that, like I said, I've gotten right is I really have learned how to be happy, how to be joyful, no matter what. And I've done that by practicing affirmations, practicing prayers, and also realizing that every single great person that ever accomplished anything was a person who didn't allow their circumstances to determine who they became. They did not allow them. Y'all, I've been through bankruptcy. I have been through power getting turned off many, many, many times. And for whatever reason, I think because of those early years of practicing affirmations, practicing joy, practicing happiness, in the meantime, until things got right, I have been able to find a very joyful life in spite of. The biggest thing, like I said, that has helped me was in Al-Anon, learning that I had to find a way to be okay when my family was not okay. Because y'all, Sheldon was in over 20 rehabs. Over 20. We were in institutions at least 5 or 6 times. We were in hospitals. We were in psych wards. We were in jail. We were on life support. And all that was happening while I was building a company. All that was happening while I built Peachy Beach Real Estate. And y'all, I'm not saying it to say that so that I'm puffed up, that I am better than. I'm saying it that you have it inside of you, that each and every one of us is so much stronger than we can imagine. But I will tell you this. I will say this so emphatically, because I've got a friend right now that is living in this with a sickness. If I put my attention on the problem, if I put my attention on the malady, on the sickness, on the regret, on the something that someone did to me, that absolutely will be the foundation that I'm building my life upon. But if I flip it and I put my attention on what is going right, did I wake up? Am I eating? Am I drinking? Am I driving a car? Do I have a place to go to work? Do I have food to eat? Am I just breathing in and breathing out? If I focus on that which I want more of, that will be what my life is built on. I'm going to say that again. If I focus on what I want more of, that will be the foundation on which I build my life. I can't wait to get happy when my kids get sober or my husband gets sober or any of those things. I must build my foundation of happiness and joy on those things that I have inside of me, that God has put inside of me. I have learned to find joy in the simplest of things. This is some of the simple things I find joy in. And I know this sounds silly, and I might have said it before, but I'm going to say it again, because I want you to embrace these things so you can find this joy that is deeper than your circumstances. It is deeper than your situation. It is deeper than someone else's decision. So, silly little things. So, when I crawl in the bed at night, which I crawl in bed very early, I try to crawl in bed by 8 o'clock, y'all. Seriously, by 8 o'clock. I have this sweatshirt that says I'm the home by 7 p.m. club or something. But really, the truth is, I'm in bed by 8 p.m. But I will get under the covers. And no matter what is going on, and I especially did this on that day where I was so sad about my sweet, precious Hugh, I would get in the covers and I would just rub my feet in the covers and go, oh my gosh, these sheets feel so good. Oh, this Lola blanket that Jody gave me just feels so heavenly. And y'all, if you do not have a Squishmallow pillow, and no, they're not a sponsor, you must run to Target or go online. No, go to Target. Go to a local store and buy it. Don't do it online. Squishmallow pillow, but you have to keep the pillowcase on it. This is one of those times where the inside and the outside are very important. You can't leave one off, okay? Get you a Squishmallow pillow. I'll lay down the Squishmallow pillow and I'll just like cozy up to it, and I'll hold the other one and I'll go, oh God, this makes me so happy. This makes me so happy. And when I get up in the morning, and my eyes open up, I go, oh, another day. But you know why I do that? Because I go to bed doing that. I go to bed no matter what is going on in my life, no matter what trial is happening. I find something to be grateful for when I'm lying in that bed. So because that's how I go to bed, that's how I wake up. I'm telling you, y'all, it is magical. It works every single time. So let's talk about some things that I'm not quite getting right yet. I'm still a people pleaser. I am. I still worry about what people think about me. I still will tell somebody about a topic that I'm going to use for a talk, like on Tuesday, and the person who I told about it didn't seem very excited. So I changed the whole talk. I did. Changed the whole talk this morning. I had a talk figured out. I was going to talk about positive triggers, which I love to talk about that. I think it's a cool topic. I changed it. I'm doing something else. Maybe I'll use that one another time. I had to write an email to somebody to let them know I was going to drop a particular service because I just can't financially do it right now. I can't, because to be honest with you, I have certain people that don't pay me. So if people don't pay me, then I can't pay the other people. Well, I'm certainly not going to not pay people. So I had to let someone know that I could not continue a service. Oh my gosh, they were so gracious. I was so afraid. I put it off to the last minute because I was scared. They were so gracious. And I'm so thankful for their graciousness. And it makes me want to come back to them if I can, when finances change. What else am I not getting right? Okay, this is super silly, but okay, this is true confession time. I do this with y'all all the time. I love it. If I could feel as comfortable when I go and give a talk, like I'm going to do next week, when I'm sitting in front of this camera, with all of you precious sweet ones, that I just would be talking all the time. I would be giving talks every single day. So I have a bladder problem. I have what they call overactive bladder. And I have to go TT all the time. And I'll get up and go, and then I'll sit down, I got to go again. Well, I will sit there and hold it because I'm thinking that everybody's watching me. Y'all, they ain't watching me. They don't care about what I'm doing, but I do. I go, I can't get up. I can't get up and go because they're watching me. So clearly, I still have some work to do on the people pleasing, the being self-conscious about what other people think, being overreactive on whether somebody thinks my topic is good or not. Y'all, I got a lot of work to do. God has a lot of work to do in me. But this is something I've got right. And I get it right most of the time. And maybe this is something that you need to work on. And then we're going to end this podcast soon with an affirmation and thanking of you sponsors. I have learned that my job is to work on me, to clean up my side of the street. And when I am tempted, and I am sometimes, to point the finger at somebody else and fuss about something they're doing, there's 3 more fingers pointing back at me, which is kind of ironic. Because you know who taught me that? My starter husband. My starter husband told me that, but it's so true. So you can learn something from anybody. That's a testament. But I've learned that I need to work on me. I need to clean up my side of the street. So if I'm judging one of God's precious children about what they are and are not doing, that is my signal to turn that finger to myself, to take care of the board in my own eye and not worry about that speck in the other. My job is to be an example, to be a light, and to be a refreshing touch of grace in this world. And that is the thing that I think is going to make the difference. I think that is the way to be sweet to ourselves and to others. I'd love to talk just a touch about grace, And before we go, and then I'm going to do an affirmation, I'm going to ask you a few favors for me too, please, if you would, about my book. But I believe that in living this life, how to have a happy, joyful, contented life that you so love is to extend more grace than you feel is necessary. I really feel like I'm pretty good at this. Maybe it's because I've lived in a family that needed a lot of grace. Maybe it's because I grew up in addiction and I was embarrassed and I was ashamed. And, I think that might be why. But I also know that I heard that from God. I heard that God has taught me that my job on this planet is 2 things. Just two. Is to love God with all my mind, soul, strength, and body, and to love my neighbor as thyself. That's it. There's only 2. It's not to condemn them. It's not to go on Facebook and blast somebody because they're the wrong political party. It's not to try to understand why there's gay people, why there's transgender people, why there's drag queens, not my job. Not my job. Not my job to understand and to change other people. It's my job to clean up my side of the street, to love God, love others. And if I do that, I believe God's going to work everything else out. I think he is. I just think he is. Y'all, thank you for being a place that I can come to and share my whole heart, my whole soul, unadulterated, unfettered. And I just feel so comfortable sitting in front of this camera talking to you. And I'm so grateful that you're here. Okay, I'm going to end by talking to you about a few more sponsors and inviting you to go there and also talk to you just a little bit. I'm almost embarrassed to do this, but see, that's another one of my things I haven't quite gotten right yet. Joy is my favorite color. My book is out, and thank you to those who have already bought it. I'm going to read an affirmation from it. I'm just going to just open the door, open the page and pick one. We'll read it before we go. But I need to thank a few more people and tell you why I love them so much. So, y'all, Gypsy Willow, stop it. Just stop it. Christy Kirkland, thank you so much for believing in me. She has this darling boutique. It's right near Copper Tap Grill over in San Andrews, down the road from Drew's Ice Cream, which you know I love, next to Amavita, which I love. So y'all, these earrings, if you can see them, they're butterfly earrings. You know I'm obsessed with butterflies lately. It's kind of part of my story, my message, and my brand. So butterflies, earrings, darling, made by Katie Hughes with Eye Catchers artwork, which you can get at Gypsy Willow, along with all kinds of other darling things. And I also want to thank Something's Cooking. Something Cooking has my books. Well, they only have one book. They're going to have some more books this week. And they have my swag. I have some darling book cover merch created by Katie Hughes in their store. Coffee mugs, journals. I don't know if they have the journals, but I have all that at the office. You can also order online. It's probably less expensive if you'll just get it from me at my office. But you can also get my book from Amazon as well. And one other thing, if you have my book, you can still go on Amazon and give me a review. If y'all give me reviews, that would make me so happy. Oh my God. So happy. Thank you, Ferrucci's, for believing in me. And thank you for having the most delicious pizza ever. Oh my gosh. So delicious. They have brunch. Y'all, go check them out. We have such beautiful places in downtown Panama City. If you haven't checked downtown Panama City, I don't know what in the world you're doing with your life. And go by Minutes and Miles and thank them because they make sure I have the most adorable chicken legs to work out with. So let's go ahead and read an affirmation. But please, if you like what you hear here and you're touched and you get a message that resonates with you or helps you in some way or you think might help someone else, please share this. It would make me so happy. It would help me spread my message of hope and love and kindness and joy out into a wanting world. And one more favor, if you will go to my podcast in any of the places and you would subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Apple Music, any of the places, and if you review, then I'll move up in the podcast stuff. And that will make more people be sweet, y'all. Don't you want more people to be sweet? I know you do. Okay, so go and do that. That's my call to action for you today. Ashley's going to be so proud of me that I remembered that. So I'm gonna thank my village too, though. Thank you, Brent. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, my brother, Greg. Thank you, Jody. Thank you, my sweet daughter, Brett. Thank you to Barb Wade. Oh my gosh. Thank y'all for helping me get JJ to theater. Thank you, Katie Hughes. Y'all, I could not do what I do without the love and support of so many precious people. And don't even get me started on Christy Clonch. Listen, we would not be able to end this podcast, okay? All right, so I'm just going to pick. I'm just going to pick one. Okay, what are we going to go to? Okay. Oh, I think this will be great. This one is on page 63, and it's in the section of identity, self-worth, and wholeness. And it's called Through His Eyes. Seeing me through the eyes of my Creator, I was born to grow and thrive. My uniqueness is my gift and my responsibility. I did not create me, but I am called to create an authentic life so I can fully live and fully give. Through His eyes, I am lovely and creative and strong. I am bound for success and abundance. And the more I share, the more it flows back to me. I am going to say that one again for the people in the back and the people in the front and for me. I am bound for success and abundance. And the more I share, the more it flows back to me. Moving confidently through changes and learning to see myself through the eyes of my Creator. I am created to expand to the space I have been given. When I learn to see through His eyes, I can see you as well, a beautiful and unique creation designed to do what only you can do. And so it is. And guess what? If you don't do what only you can do, it doesn't get done. It doesn't get done. If I don't do what I am called to do, then it doesn't get done. Y'all, I think that's it. Be sweet, y'all.